Hello everyone and welcome back to another Star Citizen video. Inside Star Citizen aired yesterday and let me tell you, it was an amazing one. If you think at the end of the video I did a good job, please hit that like and subscribe button, and as a quick reminder, you can use the timestamps on the video timeline to jump to different parts of the video. With the intro out of the way, let's jump into the juicy parts of this week's Inside Star Citizen, and man, am I excited to do this one. To start it off, they talked about basically remastering the XenoThreat dynamic event, based on feedback from the last event they ran. I sadly missed the event because I was busy with some other stuff, but from what I've gathered, they are going to rerun the XenoThreat event in its remastered form later this year. For example, one of the remasters is that the entire event will be held in one go, instead of different phases throughout multiple days. Basically, if you mess up the resupply phase for the Javelin and you end up with a smoking and damaged Javelin, it will carry over that damage into the battle that follows up. The hostility system has got a big rework as well. The AI will now remember if you shot at them. So say you think you're a cowboy and you shoot at the Javelin, they will now remember which CDF traitor shot at them and they will deal with you after XenoThreat, even if that is 15 minutes to half an hour later. There's a hostility decay in place as well now, meaning if you go over the friendly fire threshold, you will turn hostile to other players, and the duration of that will depend on how much damage you've dealt. In the remastered XenoThreat event, there will be more dialogues reminding you of certain tasks and to give instructions, to avoid confusion among players as to what the objective actually is. Another big new thing is that XenoThreat will tie into the new reputation system. Basically what this means is that instead of getting no reward, you will get rewards based on your reputation with the CDF, which you can increase by attending these dynamic events and doing well in them. So that's the part about XenoThreat, but we are not done with dynamic events. Up next, Ninetails. During Ninetails Lockdown, a criminal gang will be locking down a space station which is under the control of Crusader security. I personally think it will be Port Olisar, as it is rumored that Port Olisar will possibly go out in a blaze and be replaced in the future for a more modern space station that also includes hangars and more stores, as Port Olisar is very dated. However, Port Olisar will probably be my favorite space station ever. I don't know what it is about Port Olisar, but it often reminds me of the ISS or the International Space Station, and I really like that. Ninetails Lockdown is slated for release with 3.14 and will run for about 4 hours at a time. This event will be repeated multiple times through the patch cycle and future patches. Both sides will be recruiting players for this event, both the CDF and Ninetails, to help them to end or continue the lockdown. Personally, this is something that I'm really excited for, as the PvP player base of Star Citizen has been asking for gameplay for a while now, ever since Jumptown wasn't viable anymore and they spread out to bully players around, say, Port Olisar. Now the next part I'm going to talk about are the Ninetails Lockdown phases, so if you don't want to get spoiled about it, this is your warning to skip to the next part of the timeline in the video. You have been warned. The Ninetails event will have 4 phases. The first phase is known as the prologue, which is basically the hype phase, as this is to get the players online and let them know something is about to happen. Phase 2 is basically that Crusader is aware that something is causing a quantum blockade around a space station and is making it dangerous and more time consuming to get to and from the station. They will recruit players to protect ships that they are sending out to scan and patrol to find the source of the quantum blockade. On the flip side, Ninetails will be using this time to recruit players to go out and destroy said Crusader ships, causing a PvP-VE situation. Phases 3 and 4 are still a mystery, and we will only find out what they are during the event itself. Now, Jumptown 2 has also been mentioned. However, there is nothing known about it and they will talk about it when the time is right. But hey, at least there will be a Jumptown 2, right? The next part of the video is about the Sprint report, where they started off discussing 3 new brands, namely the Eclipse Mutual, which specializes in life insurance for the whole Death of a Spaceman gameplay, TCB, also known as Tax Collection Bureau, which is a branch of the UEE in charge of tax legislation, accumulation and regulation. If you cannot pay your taxes, you will be able to do volunteer work to basically work off your debt. The last one is Cousin Crows, a company specialized in ship customization like parts, paint jobs, as well as crew uniforms and accessories for your ship. The second part of the sprint report is about the new VFX stuff, where thrusters will blow up dust and other particles based on the direction of your thrusters, power output and wind volume. Still on the VFX topic, they return to the onboard ship fires and directionality, on which a player can estimate on how a fire will be spreading throughout a ship. The fires and smoke will move accordingly and impacted with certain forces that may occur within a ship, so that fires and smoke will be impacted realistically by fire extinguishers and decompressing a room. They also showed off a quick look at signed distance fields being used to direct venting of smoke and flames throughout the ship. Work has also begun on revisions of the Aegis Retaliator to bring it up to the gold standard with changes to the internals for NPC traversal, with the docking collar moved and adjusted elevator dimensions. The Aegis Redeemer also saw work as it is moving through the grey box interior phase with new looks of the remote turret bay, habitation section, and internal machinery. And of course they showed off the progress on the Crusader Industries Ares Inferno and Ion. Next up is showing off concepts of future canvas slice HUDs that are proprietary to different manufacturers, with the one on screen now being a proposal for Drake Interplanetary ships to diversify flight experiences. Following that, they gave a brief look at loot generation and lootable containers, testing on Korea Station, which will make an appearance in the future of the game, probably after the implementation of personal inventories, so not before 3.15. And at last a look at environment work for different parts of the game, like prop placement overlays for exteriors of Colonial Outposts, a white box progress of the new Grimhex Hospital, and white box progress for smaller, more general hospitals for stations throughout Stanton. But wait, there's more. In yesterday's video I said I wasn't optimistic about Crusader, Orison and Clouds making it into 3.14, but hours after I uploaded the video we were greeted by the following. A lighting pass going on throughout Orison, the upcoming landing zone for Crusader. Next week in their quarterly season finale it will be all about Orison and Crusader, and boy am I excited for that. And that's it for this week's Inside Star Citizen, and boy was it packed this week. What are you excited for about mentioned in this Inside Star Citizen? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe and all that good stuff, and if you want to support me, I have launched a Patreon earlier this week, link below. So thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.